in there.
Good evening, everybody. We are back. The late night on campus. It's 10 o'clock, which means only one thing. It's the late night on campus with me, the big man on campus, joined with my co-host, Donnie, raring to go right side. Donnie, what's up? What's up tonight?
Hey, nice long day here. Some good action in progress, which is the best part about late night on campus. We can sit back and watch it unfold and talk about it live. You have some playoff hockey there, 3-3. It looks like with Montreal and the Rangers, but a lot to talk about in baseball tonight. I know, big man, you're watching some high school action as well. Basketball, the young future of the pro and college game going at it there. I know you're hanging on one of these Yankees games. A lot of things that we have in play here. Let's get into the show, big man. Again, the card is ours tonight. Some good action. Let's go.
Yeah, we've talked about it. This is, I think we can agree, both of our favorite shows here. We got an action-packed show as always. We had Joe Duffy on earlier, which was a lot of fun. Joe was great with breaking down some NBA. And Natalie Rodsham, many know her from her work at SBR. She's going to join us, talk a little soccer, talk a little bit about SBR, and kind of just talk about her life, how she got involved with the sport. We'll take some questions, and she's got a big announcement she's going to tell everyone. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll break into baseball. How's you been doing with baseball today?
Hey, doing good with baseball today. Hanging in. Looks like right now 6-1 in the bottom of the sixth with the Royals and the Angels. I did give out the over 9 play, so that has a decent shot at this point. Also, you know me, Jeff, I like to do a double dog session there where just play 2 dogs off of each other, most of the time leaning towards public favorites and going in the opposite direction with a fade. I did take one, Tommy Malone, tonight, and the Brewers at plus money. They're up 10-3 in the 8th. And I also took San Diego as a nice dog on the road in the opener down there in Atlanta. They're down 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th. So at least if they split, you get a little bit of money back. Would be nice to see a double knock out of the park, but you can't get greedy. So we'll see what happens. Chapman's
just going to blow this. This is unreal.
What do you got? Give me an update. Give me a live update. What are you looking at?
Fucking someone just roped a double into the fucking wall. Second and third, 2 outs. I mean,
so he didn't score. There you go. So the dude didn't score.
The problem was, this fucking umpire. It was a strike 3, and
I got to put it on, root it in. I got to give you some good juju here and root this in.
It's just so brutal. But I'm not going to be able to settle until this game's over. So let's just watch what we're doing here. What's up to everyone on the chat box? Mark, Dylan, Cade, Marino, you got to get an easier name. That is a difficult.
It is a tough one. It's even tough for me. I don't even know what to call him, for short.
What is that name? What is that name exactly? I don't know if that's your name.
It's Marino tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah. Joel, Joe, Matthew, Brian, Adam, everyone out there listening, welcome in. We appreciate you. Let's get a little business out of the way. Head on over to SBR Odds for all the great odds. You can look. I think there's like 30 books on there. You can get odds from all of them. Give them some of your business. It's always good to have multiple books in baseball. Make sure you're getting the best price, especially if you're on a dog or whatever. That's where I use for my odds. You can look at any sport. Very easy to kind of get it how you want it. As far as well, subscribe to the page. Don't miss a show. Don't miss when we're on the air. It'll automatically notify you. Donnie, we got to make sure people are taking care of business using all the great options over at SBR Forum. And you can follow SBR Sportsbook on Twitter. So, Donnie, where are we going to start tonight? You want to start?
I think we're going to start. I know you're a little bit distracted. Let's root this bad boy in for you. We got Aroldis Chapman 0-2 count on the mound. Let's see if you can punch this out of the way, baby.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a nice strikeout.
There you go. Get him. There you go. Congrats.
Is that it? That's
it, baby. You got it.
Boom. I'm going to tell you right now, this Yankee pitching staff doing their job. Good stuff. Good stuff, baby. Good stuff, Yanks.
By the way, we have a pretty good track record, big man, when we're counting down live.
We do.
That's pretty good. I like that. Good job.
We do. We definitely do. That's a good point by you. Let's start out with the early games. You had a couple today. How about Pittsburgh? They finally get the job done.
That's a nice dog price, too, on that, too.
Yeah. It was a nice dog price. And, the Cubs, 7 hits. Hendricks, It was just average. It wasn't anything great. Garrett Cole with a nice performance. He's seen the Cubs plenty. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
He had, he's seen them plenty of times. So a nice performance by him today. Good to see the Pirates get off the schneid and get a win. Philadelphia, they were up against the Washington Nationals. And I will say this, Donnie, my premium plays in baseball to start the year have not been good. I will admit. I had the team total over in that game. I thought Nola was a guy that was kind of a wounded duck. Some guys had great numbers against them. They had options. They had chances, just some bad at-bats, but they get the outright win in 10 and help people that back them. I know moneyline bettors were on the edge of their seats with that one.
That's why it's going to be a lot with the Phillies. I mean, if you've heard me once, you've heard me twice, you've heard me 3 times, they're a great fade right now, and get them while they're at a decent price versus good pitchers, because that number is going to go higher and higher and higher. You might have got Strasburg today. Let me see what he even closed at was around 163, 165. Fast forward to August, that's minus 235. So you're getting good prices to fade the Phillies right now.
Yeah, and I mentioned it. I've talked about it on Twitter. We've talked about it. The Phillies play them tough. I mean, they have played them tough this year so far. It's always kind of a tough game, but and I know they struggled today. But you look at that lineup. I mean, with Eaton, if he can get on base, which he will. Rendon hasn't been great, but he'll be fine. Then you look at Harper, Murphy, Zimmerman, Worth, Wieters. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I know Zimmerman. I'm going to guess he probably won't hit 378 all year, but that's a pretty good 3 through 6 or 7 there. We have to also remember Trey Turner's out with an injury right now. So you're definitely a team that I think is going to win the East and win the whole thing in the NL. So you're going forward, definitely pay attention to that Nationals team with that pitching staff. You look at some of the night games here. How about Cleveland, Donnie? It just continues to be baffling. The Cleveland Indians, 2 hits tonight, 8 innings in, and it's not like they're facing Nolan Ryan tonight.
Exactly.
They faced Daniel Norris, a guy that or is it Daniel or Bud Norris? I always get them confused.
I don't think it's I think it's Daniel Norris.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Dan Norris, 6 innings, 2 hits.
Bud Fulmer, I think you might be getting them confused with.
No, it's Bud Norris. There's a Bud Norris. I don't know where he is nowadays.
Yeah.
But you can't get a hit. You can't even get a hit off this bullpen. I mean, and again, I know we're only 9 or 10 games in, and I'm, we all know I'm very high on the Cleveland Indians, but definitely having struggles early on here. What's up with them?
I don't know. I mean, it's just you could have fooled me, because I like the position they were in to start the year. I liked how they revamped the staff, a team that's going to be hungry. I mean, you might, like the NFL, you would have the Super Bowl hangover, so to speak, if you lost the Super Bowl coming back the next year. But they revamped, added some pieces there. They'll get it going as that summer gets warmer. And again, Jeff, we're not talking about anybody that's going to be able to run away with that division to start with. And they're going to be able to chase anybody down by midsummer this one. Even though they're struggling right now, summer hitting season's going to come. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and I don't want to be an annoyance, but I did have the under in that. I had a little play on the under in that Yankee game. I mentioned it on the show earlier. 4 runs in the first inning. I'm probably not supposed to hit that, but we'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
Tigers, they look like they're going to hit a nice dog price here. What did they close at? The Detroit Tigers, 140, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why Trevor Bauer's laying that kind of number. And with the Indians' issues right now, do you really want to lay? Finally, a hit for the Cleveland Indians.
Comeback? Called a comeback? 6-0?
Edwin Encarnacion. Yes. No, they will not come back. Edwin Encarnacion with a hit gets his average to 200. Nice job, Edwin. Baltimore, they're up 6-3 in the top of the 9th, looking good. It just continues to get worse for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, we talked about that. Even though Toronto had the clear pitching mismatch, but Toronto's a mess. And again, until they wake up, you can't be laying anything with them at this point, and it worked out perfectly there. And also, big man, going on the show back early with the right side of campus, we both thought Tanaka would bounce back tonight. Struggled early on, but the Yanks held it down. Bullpen was good, and that's what you get. Maybe he can bounce that off and turn that into a positive at this point.
Yeah, I hope he does, because it didn't look good. I mean, he opens the game giving up a 2-run shot, just an absolute bomb from Matt Carpenter, which, lefties obviously love Yankee Stadium. That's clear. But, yeah, I hope he does. I mean, he was pretty good the rest of the way. But you back to the Orioles quickly. I mean, Toronto was up 3-1 in that game. But you look at the home runs. Scope, Hardy, Davis, Seth Smith with a home run here in the 9th. It looks like kind of last season. They were big home run boppers last year.
Yeah.
How about Milwaukee? What a just a disastrous sixth inning for the sixth and seventh inning for the Reds.
Yep.
We were lauding their bullpen, Donnie, earlier today.
Yep.
And I actually wanted to say one thing. Scott Feldman, I know his pitch count was really high. He walked some people, but he didn't do too bad. I mean, he only gave up 2 runs. He was pretty effective. But then the bullpen comes in, and you're thinking, okay, I mean, bullpen's been good. And with 2 outs, he just could not get out of that sixth inning. 8 runs in the sixth and the seventh, and they have blown it open in Great American Ballpark. So if you're a Reds backer, which I mentioned, I kind of like them today, they are not going to get the job done. Miami and New York, Donnie, we talked about it. Might be a little bit of tired legs in this one. And I mean, they've had some hits.
Yeah, it actually started out kind of fast with that 2-2 score, and then actually almost the same demographic last night, big man.
Yeah, I mean,
started out, put up piles of runs, and then went ice cold for long stretches of time, right into the 16th inning.
Sure. And I mean, I would imagine that the first 5 under would probably be 3.5 or 4 in that game. Definitely kind of a bad beat because I mean, I don't think these teams had any. I didn't see them scoring a ton of runs tonight. Probably should have took the under myself, but definitely a slow game there. Atlanta, they're up 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th at their new stadium. How about that?
Brand spanking new. Looks good too.
Yeah, I didn't even see it, but it looked pretty nice from pictures. How about that? It does look pretty nice. Tampa Bay, Donnie, how about them tonight? Tampa Bay has some big boppers in that lineup. I like the kid.
10 too. How about that?
Yeah, I like that kid Steven Souza, Brad Miller with some power.
Yep.
How about the kid Shane Peterson? 3 RBIs tonight. A nice game from him. I never even heard of him going into tonight. So definitely a nice job from him. Reds bullpen fucks us. Great. Yep.
Braves just went yard in that new ballpark. I think that might be the first home run there. 2-run blast, 2 outs.
There it is.
Ender Iarte, I believe it was.
In front of the Chop House. How about that?
That's pretty good.
Cleveland's going to lay big prices every game. Yep, probably. Yeah. Cleveland's a fraud so far. Come on, dude. 9 games in. D-back should not be plus 216 against anyone. They have terrible numbers against Kershaw, though. I mean, Kershaw's like I think a 1.67 ERA in his career against Arizona. So, I mean, we have to remember Clayton Kershaw's just on another level than everyone else. So he can lay those kind of numbers, and I think, Donnie, you would agree, he's the only one who should be laying those kind of numbers.
Yeah, exactly, especially at home. I mean, he does have the proven track record in that. Opened up minus 210, sitting at minus 250 at Pinnacle, minus 255 at Chris. I mean, that's just an amazing number. Again, we talked about it also. There's no, I mean, maybe you throw it in a parlay, but how much value does it even have in a parlay being minus 250 at that point? If you take the run line, you're not even getting plus money back. It's one of those things where you just want to pass on it. I don't even know when Kershaw technically, big man, even has value during the season,
Yeah, he really doesn't. I mean, unless you're comfortable with laying 1.5 runs, like if you can get them against a right-handed pitcher, not a really good right-handed pitcher at home, and they're laying like 130 or less on the run line, they're worth a look probably. But yeah, there's very little opportunity really. Yep, Rich, I got it. I'll give you a call tomorrow. I was a little busy today. I'll get to you tomorrow for sure. But would you guys take a line like that with Kershaw? No, I wouldn't.
Never. Like I can't. To be honest, I can't even remember the last time I even bet Clayton Kershaw. Maybe on like a road game in Chicago where he would have a reasonable number. But it's all betting. Baseball is all about value in the number. And sure, he's supposed to win. He wins the majority of his games. But there's those one game if you just take it at minus 260 and you lose it, you can't live with that. And especially if you give out plays or sell plays for a living, anybody can just say, I'm going to take Clayton Kershaw tonight, or I'm going to put the Dodgers in a parlay. It's just not the way things happen. I mean,
this is just my own opinion. If God himself was pitching for 260, I wouldn't bet it. It's just not something I'm programmed to do. If I have a game, like I do it in college basketball once in a while, I'll lay two money lines like that parlayed together and get an even price. But that's pretty much once in a while. I don't do it too often. Game, Donnie, we did not get to today on the right side of campus just because I don't think either of us cared much about it. The White Sox in Minnesota tied in the 4th inning. Dylan Covey against who's pitching for Mejia, whoever that is. Adalberto Mejia. Okay, got it. Donnie, one thing I wanted to point out about the Twins. I don't know if you remember, several years ago, Byron Buxton was the next big thing. Everyone
Yes.
was get excited about Byron Buxton.
Super fast, 5-tool guy, throw, hit, run, do it all.
I mean, you look at his stats. I mean, in his career, 210 hitter. He's only stolen 13 bases. He's a speedster, supposedly. No firepower at all from the plate as far as power is concerned. This year, get a load of this. This year, 3 for 34, hitting .88. Pathetic.
Yeah, his highlight today, I believe, was or it might have been yesterday, where he had a bunt, looked like he was literally, photoshopped in there for how fast he was. But it don't matter how fast you are if you can't put the ball in play. So,
John Jones checking in. Welcome, John. Thanks for listening. John got in touch with me on Twitter. Thank you, man. You could press Kershaw. Starts like 3 in a row. Yeah, look, like Donnie said, there's really not much value in ever betting them. It's like similar to betting like Barcelona. I mean, they're always a big favorite. I mean, it's very rare that they're not.
yeah.
And, we can say that there's value and whatever, but there isn't. I mean, you just kind of got to – I'm not going to lay $2.60 to win $1. It's just not really –
Yeah.
I got to risk $260 to make 100. It's just not really in the cards for me. Now, I know, Donnie, I've seen a lot of people, and this is kind of on the same wavelength. I see people all the time mentioning, how could you risk $40,000 to win 300 or whatever when people lay big numbers and stuff?
Yeah.
You have to remember, how much money would that guy get on that $40,000 in his savings account? How long would it take him to make $30? It'd take him like a month.
But he wouldn't lose it, though, in that bank account, though.
I know, but
I see your point on it.
It's extremely rare those teams will lose. So while many people don't get it, you have to remember it is like free money. It's a very high EV wager. So just remember that. That's why people do that. They're trying to.
D from Detroit says in the box there, Buxton looks like a career number 4 outfielder, almost like a
that's a great
Dyson. That is a good one there.
Point. Great.
We had one close in Philadelphia. We had the ultimate can't miss 5-tool guy,
Michael Bourne.
One strong. Literally 1 month hit like 20 home runs and made the All-Star team. Was Don Brown, never to be heard from again.
Michael Bourne was kind of like that too, but
Michael Bourne actually had a decent career.
He did have a good career. Yeah. Dyson's better than Buxton, though. I definitely agree. That speedy, Willie Mays Hayes type. Remember from Major League, that guy,
like Low Kane. Big fan of Lorenzo Kane.
Yeah, well, he's more of a bigger guy, definitely. But he even almost tailed off a little bit. I need some pizza. Had Domino's. Come on, dude. Domino's?
Yo, who had Domino's?
Come on, Tony.
Fancy. Every time I see that commercial where they knock down like their building and I spent my life savings and I sold my house to get my Domino's, and I just shake my head. It's like, I don't even know how you're selling pizza, man.
By the way, I wanted to ask you about this because it relates to baseball, and it's just I've been wanting to bring it up, but I never remember.
Yes.
And I just seen it before we went on the air here. Have you seen those MLB network commercials?
Which ones?
Like
the one where there was like a little fly that flew in the center field
sitting in the studio
trying to knock it down?
Yeah. Are they
let's go to the game.
Are they not the corniest commercials I've ever seen? I mean, really? Oh, this is a good one. Islam is false religion. All Muslims will burn forever in the lake of fire with the rest of the unsaved. I love this guy. He comes on a lot of my shows and calls me.
It's a very religious day, too, so maybe he was reading up on a couple things.
Yeah, you got to love this guy. He's great. He comes on a lot of shows and bashes me for that. Yeah, you must be quite the human being. Why don't you just let everyone do what they want to do? How about that? You must be jealous or something. But Donnie, what else do we got going on in baseball tonight?
Yeah, baseball tonight. I mean, just taking a look down the line, you have King Felix again. Looks like oh wow, how about this, big man? I guess it's already started. Okay, looks like I have a live line at -174 in a tie game in the bottom of the first. So must have been a little bit of steam on King Felix. I know he opened up at a -140. You also have Dallas Keuchel and Graveman getting underway here. So some interesting stuff to end the night. And again, you have a nice hockey game in OT right now, 3-3. With the Islanders, with the Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens.
I'll tell you what, Donnie. The Houston Astros look like a very square bet tonight. You get Keuchel in a nice price on the road where he didn't pitch well in a ballpark, big ballpark that can be sneaky on you.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a square play tonight.
Line told you a lot about that game, and again, Graveman hasn't been that bad. And he's not.
Get Jose out of here. Get that idiot out of here now.
Is he a preacher?
Yeah, well, get him out. I don't care what he is. I'll get him
That's
out
it.
then.
I got it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to spew that crap in here. Sorry. I don't care what you are, but don't come in here with stupid stuff like that. There are people in here that do practice Islam. There are people that practice everything. So let's just let everyone do what they want to do. But Donnie, we have some other ones, just two more here, I believe.
Yeah.
We get Kansas City. They're up 6-1
Yep.
on the bottom of the seventh. I know, Donnie, you need a couple runs in that
Yeah, it
one.
would be nice to get at least give me a 2-run shot or something like that to give me a push in that one. Looked pretty easy hanging on, big man. 5-1, I believe, after 3. And now they only tacked on 1 run since then. So you're going to get some of those early in the season, which is why I like to match up those dogs. It looks like I'm going to take down the Milwaukee game. And it looks like I'm probably going to end up losing the Atlanta-San Diego game. So split on that. You don't lose any juice. Get a little bit of plus money in your pocket. We'll stick through that target all the way through April here. But been a nice run. Even I've had hit a couple nice over-unders, but hopefully we get a little bit of late inning magic in that one as well.
Interesting development here in Cleveland, Donnie. Bottom of the 8th, bases loaded, 1 out for the Indians. The problem is possibly the worst player in the major leagues, Roberto Perez, is up.
Let's get it on.
He is possibly the worst hitter in the major leagues, worse than Byron Buxton. Roberto Perez is one of the more useless players I've ever seen in baseball. By the way, Donnie, shout out to my boy Lonnie Walker, co-MVP tonight at the Jordan Brand Classic. He's from Reading, Pennsylvania. He's going to Miami. I've seen him live. Big star. He's a good friend of mine. That's his nephew. Shout out to Lonnie Walker.
Larinaga will be impressed. Yeah. What do we got? 6-0, bases juiced, 1 out?
Yes. Bases loaded, 1 out. One more. We talked about that Texas, Seattle. We have Colorado, San Francisco. That one is scoreless in the first. So some opening games beginning here. Games that I didn't have too much of an eye on. Everyone's on the Astros. Yeah, a lot of people are on the Astros, which for me is a sign of weak. Hey, Donnie, by the way, you need to change your screensaver back there.
What do we got going on? Yeah, I have the new one that doesn't have the college hoop show on there. I just have to figure out how to actually transfer it over there.
I'll send you it if you need it. But
yeah, you said it.
But yeah,
nice big one, nice new one, baseball moniker on there. I'll take it.
Sure. What would you do, Donnie? Like, what would be the odds that Cleveland comes back here? I mean, it's got to be ridiculous. 3,000.
Down 6, even though they have bases loaded, what would you still give them? I mean, if it's a 2-run line, you're probably looking at still like minus
the over.
More than that. Even if they get a base hit, like minus 400 or plus 400?
Yeah, if you have the over in this game, you're definitely sitting on pins and needles right now because
you want that ball in the gap right here, right?
And the game is definitely decided, but I mean, this over closed at 8.5. So I mean, you need kind of a nice inning here. But Roberto Perez isn't going to do anything. I already know he's an auto out.
Oh wow, look at this. They only got 1 out of it. Yeah, they didn't press it. So they got 1 run in, but that ain't what you wanted. Sack fly? There. No, ground out. Should have been. They didn't even press for the double play. Just took the 1 out. Slow roller. Nothing. Didn't do anything. Scores Edwin Encarnacion.
You won't see that for a while. But other than that, guys, just kind of a little overview of what we're going to be doing here at SBR over the weekend. Tomorrow we have the Saturday sit-down, 12:30 Eastern, very similar to the right side of campus. We'll go over the day in baseball. We'll also go over the NBA. We'll go over some of the playoff games, which I got to say I'm pretty excited for.
Yep, sure. Getting rolling tomorrow. All gets underway. You have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. That's good.
Yeah, I also want to point everyone out that I have a pretty heavy soccer card tomorrow. I've already put it out, so make sure you look for that on Twitter. I hit my play today with Paris Saint-Germain, 4-0 today with soccer. So hopefully you are tailing. I know many will look at the card and say, wow, there's a lot of chalk on that card. You would be right. But remember, in most leagues, particularly French, Italian, and Spanish, it's basically 1 versus 16 day in those leagues. I mean, Monaco's playing some random team. Madrid's playing some shithead team. So plenty of chalk. However, I'm all right with it. Later we'll have the late night on campus. I'm going to the Baffle the Big Man on the late night on campus. I'm going to send over the link and have Natalie Rydstrom call in here, and we will get to know her if you don't know her.
Yeah, if you watch earlier in the show, or earlier today, we had the right side of campus. Joe Duffy came on with us, really had a nice breakdown on NBA, got a good feel for some futures, all the games layout, not particularly like, who's going to win the first game or whatever it is, but just some good overview on all the series, how they might match up down the line, and just a lot of good thoughts. Joe's a good guy. I know you've known him for a long time, big man.
Yeah.
And we also had him on, I believe, on the Selection Sunday show as well. So very versatile guy, been in the industry a long time, good guest.
Yeah, Joe's a guy that he breaks down the right way. He's been on SPR for a long time, and I've always really enjoyed chatting with Joe. He's very astute, very smart, and he really kind of breaks the game down, kind of similar to the way I would look to break it down. So we really appreciate Joe coming on. We'll have to, Donnie, make sure we get in touch with him when he comes up in the summer, maybe grab a meal together.
Yeah.
But we are standing by waiting for Natalie Rydstrom here. Should be joining us any moment. Big man, don't sleep on Milwaukee, says Jonathan.
Yeah, big man, don't sleep on him. Come on, man. We took a nice little dog in that one.
I'm not sleeping on the Bucks. I think without Jabari Parker, if he was in there, I think they'd have a better time at it. But
I think he's talking about baseball, isn't he?
No, I think he's talking about the
division games. He's talking about Milwaukee being a dog. That'd be baseball, right?
Is he? I didn't even look.
Milwaukee, Cincinnati tonight? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess he is talking about it. I'm not sleeping on him. I liked what
yeah, you needed some balls. You needed some balls today to take Malone. I gotta admit it though. I took it, but it did take some balls.
I mean, Tommy Malone is a pure fade to me. So I mean, it's not so much that I don't mind the Brewers. I like them. I just don't like Tommy Malone. Joe Duffy is funny also. Yes, he is. He is a funny guy.
Yep, sure.
Bucks and Pacers to cover spread, says Robert. We'll chat about that tomorrow. Good job on soccer. Thank you. Clippers are sketchy. I'd parlay with what? Yeah, I'm fading the Clippers. Like I said, I like the Jazz in that series. So we'll see how that goes.
A little bit short of a line in that one, would you say, big man? 5.5 on the opening game at the Clip joint?
Could be, but I'm going to watch. That's not going to be a series I'll bet on game to game. I'm going to keep the future and just kind of ride it out with that. That will be one series I do not look to bet. One game that I do like early on here is the Grizzlies getting, a 9.5. I just think that's too many points. I think the Grizzlies are good enough to hang probably early in that series. As far as winning it, it's not going to happen. But I think early on, I think they'll win a game or two.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. By the way, looking at today, talking about a little basketball as the season wound down, Knicks in complete turmoil today. Phil Jackson throws Carmelo right under the bus. It's like, dude, just beat it. Get out of here. Porzingis blows off the final interview saying it's a complete mess over here. So I remember a couple years back where, Knicks fans, Knicks ownership, Knicks, press, we're going to do it the right way and build with Porzingis, not what the Sixers are doing. Doesn't look so hot up there in New York at this point.
They might be the worst franchise in sports as far as running, like, organization-wise. I mean, Carmelo, when will that escapade end? I mean, really. It seems like Carmelo Anthony's been on the Knicks for like 30 years.
And the match was just awful. I mean, first off, he didn't fit what Phil Jackson wanted to do when Phil first got there, right? So then, he's a free agent, and they sign him to a ridiculous monster contract, knowing that nothing is going to get any better. They give him a full no-trade clause. Then, like a year later, they say, hey, Melo, you want to move on? Like, nah, New York City's my city. You can't trade me anyway. Like, how did anybody not think that was going to work?
I will admit, I like Carmelo as a person. I think what he does for kind of culture is important. He's a great, kind of ambassador to basketball as far as some of the things he does. But as far as on the Knicks, just doesn't work. Put him on a team where he can kind of be a third or fourth guy. I mean, kind of be a role player. He's obviously near the end of his career, but it's clear that they hate each other. I mean, clear. And Porzingis, what's his story? I mean, what's he going to do there going forward? So, yeah, it's going to be tough. Do you like? I don't know if this is to me. I guess it is. Do you like any series in the NBA in a parlay? Not really. Numbers are too high.
I mean, would you even get any value if you just said, "Hey, I want to take Golden State and I want to take Cleveland in the first round"?
I mean,
would it even?
Look, if you ask me that question, I would just say parlay all the favorites together.
Canadians pull it out in overtime. They just scored to beat the Rangers 4-3 final.
Wow. Last time I saw it was 3-2.
Yep.
Good for them. That's a big win. Tie that up. Edmonton Sharks a little bit later. I think that's about to kick off here. And Cleveland still in business.
1-1 count, 6-1. Look, somebody's got to get this bad boy into the gap.
Yeah.
Santana, good batter for that too. We'll see what happens.
And she's having a little trouble getting on here, so we'll keep rolling here.
That's all right. Hey, we got nothing but time tonight.
What
Just trying to watch this little live action here, see what Santana can actually handle in this situation.
What do you have going? You have that over, I guess. What do you?
Yeah, I have the over. That doesn't look good. Bottom of the 8th. I mean, you had one. They had first 3 guys for Los Angeles got on tonight, and one of them got thrown out on the base pass, and it was 1-0. Couldn't get anybody home. Haven't done a damn thing since. If you would ask me and say Kansas City's going to put up 6 runs in this one, I'd have said I would at least have a push out of that one. But no big deal. It's early in the season. We're not betting, heavy, but. One that looks good, Milwaukee looks like that's going to get in the books, and then San Diego looks like they're going to lose. So I'll split the dogs and then lose that total bet. No big deal. No harm, no foul.
I hear you. If the Knicks go all in on the triangle next season, what's the betting angle? Unders and fee. Probably just
Who's
not
even going to run it? Who do they even have? Just going to run the whole thing through Hernan Gomez?
Yeah, and
Santana struck out, by the way, with bases loaded. That's a tough beat for the backers for the over.
Maybe what's his name from Ron Baker from
yeah, run it through Ron Baker. And don't they have maybe they can swing? Who's the point guard up there, big man? With Ron Baker back at Wichita?
Van Vliet.
He's in the NBA.
Yeah, he plays for the Raptors.
What's his name?
Fred Van Vliet.
There you go. Yeah.
Donnie and Big Man, the only honest cappers left. Thank you, man. We try.
Hey, man, you can't win all the time.
Donnie, there's our buddy again. Look at that.
Omaha. By the way, he said his name. He spelled his name Chris with a C.
Quite the. Why don't you go Bible to somewhere else? Go somewhere where we actually care.
By the way, Natalie calling in from Costa Rica. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what she's trying to call in from. Yeah.
Yeah, she's calling in from her house. It's if you don't use Google Hangouts, it can be a little.
It is very first time we had the show here. I struggled with it for about an hour and a half until I finally got it down. So I hear you. Yeah,
hopefully it's not. I mean, she always hosts them, so she's not ever calling in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we'll get to that, but yeah.
Still look at 10-4. Looks like the Milwaukee game went final there. 6-1. You just saw that with Cleveland. Late games, no scoring yet. Keuchel, Graveman, nothing. Perez, Hernandez, nothing. Greinke, Kershaw, nothing, and Anderson, Cueto, nothing. So nothing too busy going on. 1-1 the hockey game, St. Louis and Minnesota. I just flipped that game on now. Maybe we can get another overtime game. I love it, big man. I don't bet NHL hockey. Every time, Ian will throw me a couple plays here and there, which, again, I like to laugh about, which whoever was online with me when Jeff said to me earlier he's on the Edmonton game, and I took that for being on Edmonton, and I actually lost the game. I'll talk about a mush on that one. That's hilarious, but anyway.
Average number of baseball plays per week.
It varies.
1 a day, maybe.
I usually like to go 1 a day, but sometimes, hey, there's 2 or 3 you might win a peg, but I like to take it low and slow typically. So
sure. Donnie, what are your thoughts on Aaron Hernandez getting acquitted?
I actually got a good laugh. What my initial thought was? If I ever get in trouble, big man, if you ever get in trouble over there, Jose Baez, he's speed dial.
He's the truth. I'll tell you. He's like the modern day Johnny Cochran. But you know what sucks about Aaron Hernandez? I mean, so you get acquitted. Mm-hmm. You're still facing life, and you're still doing life.
Yeah. What was the point of it anyway? Like, why wouldn't he just say like, there you go.
Welcome in.
I made it. Yay.
Good. We're happy to have you. We'll get back to the Aaron Hernandez a little bit. But Natalie Rodsham, we knew you would have a little trouble. Everyone always has trouble with Google Hangouts when you're joining a call. Welcome in. We're happy to have you. How you doing tonight?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm really happy to be part of your show. Obviously, I follow your guys' show all the time. So really excited to be here and on it.
We know you do, and we want to point out, and I want to point out, and I don't know how much you hear, but I wanted to give you a little bit of props. Mm-hmm. I think your show, the guests you have, I think it's one of the most unheralded things on SPR. I think it's something that I think everyone should watch. Truly fantastic information you and everyone put out. You do a really good job with that show and all the shows.
And
Yeah, thank you
good
so
camaraderie on
much.
that show too. I mean, it's enjoyable to watch. Like I know Big Man, who never. I mean, he's very knowledgeable in soccer, but he goes on that show and you guys made him feel like he was been there for 5 years and did a
Yeah.
100 show with you guys. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
the camaraderie is very
Yeah.
nice. It seems like everyone's, friendly, kind of friends outside of the show. And I, that's how Donnie and I are. So we
Yeah.
definitely like that.
Do you know that we've actually been working together now for like 5 years? I think Stuart was the first one that we had like on the show in the very beginning. He sort of like helped me along, and because I've always been into sports, but the betting part has really sort of been like a learning in process. And then we've had obviously Bernardo. He's
Sure.
taking a bit of a hiatus right now. Just moved to Malta, but he'll be back on. But yeah, everybody we've been working for years, so we have actually built up a friendship as well. So it's kind of great, really.
Yeah, it's really awesome, the camaraderie. I love it. It's kind of one of the better things about it. They're calling you the Queen of SBR, so welcome in to the Queen of SBR. Natalie, I got to ask you. Yeah, we don't have a crown. We'll have to get you one. But I got to ask that, like, how'd you get into sports betting? How did this all happen for you?
Well, yeah, so always into sports. Obviously, it's sort of something. I think it's sports betting in England. It's not a taboo. There's betting shops
Sure.
on every corner. It's almost like a fun thing. So I think you almost like, I don't know. I think they start you off young. You'll bet on who's going to win Big Brother or The Voice or things like that. You've even got sort of the names of the royal family's children. Before they're born, everyone will speculate and put a bit of money on. One of the favorite bets that families like to take are, will it snow at Christmas? So, I think it's kind of like, it's sort of like in your blood, so to speak. So that was sort of me growing up, and then obviously moved to Costa Rica, always into sports. And we had a friend who was good friends with one of the managers at SBR, and they were looking for a female presenter with character who knew about sport. So anyway, so they said, I listen, I know the girl. So I came on and I said, listen, I know a bit about sports betting, but I know there's a lot more to learn. I had Peter Loshak to help me, and they said, listen, job's yours if you want it, but there's a lot of hard work involved. I was like, sign me up, I'm ready. So it's kind of been a learning and process, really. And I think these past couple of years is when I've been really taking it to the next level and really pushing it.
No disrespect to Peter Loshak, because I love Peter Loshak, but I think you're the ultimate presenter. You kind of have an interesting hat at SBR. I see you do betting news, and you do football, and you do Miss America pageants. I've seen you do. You do a great job. Nat, I got to ask you: is there a sport that you would like to get into, kind of learn more about? I know you're big into football. I know you like, the little things, but is there a sport that you're kind of, I asked Donnie this because we're pretty versed in all the American sports. We kind of, know a little bit about everyone. Is there a sport that you want to learn more about, you want to get into?
Yeah, I was actually asking myself this question just the other day, and I think I was watching basketball, and I was watching a game, and I thought, this is actually a really fun game to watch, because there's some that I sort of, I don't know, maybe like struggle a little bit more with watching, and obviously you've got to enjoy watching the sport as well. And I thought, I could get into this basketball, and I've been listening to a couple of your shows and things like that. I thought this one I could do. So yeah, basketball.
Awesome. Yeah, no, basketball's a great sport, isn't it, Don? It's probably my favorite. So
yeah, no, that's a true American one there. Natalie, growing up, any brothers or sisters that got you into like sports or growing up athletic wise?
No, well, I'm the oldest of 4 sisters. So yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, I've got one I've got one full sister, and then I've got 2 half sisters. And one of the half sisters wants to get into like what I'm doing now. They look up to me, and they're like, I really want to do your job. So they want to be a reporter betting on sports. So I was like, so I think I'm more the influence than the other way around.
I know, Natalie, like where we live, sports betting's pretty acceptable. I know, Donnie, in Philadelphia, I mean, everybody does it, probably similar to how they do it over there. But it's, like you said, kind of taboo in a lot of the country. I look forward to the days where it's not as so taboo and we can kind of, live it through our daily lives. I got to ask you, obviously, I'm not saying anything that's not true here. There are not many women in this business. I think we all know that. Why do you think that is?
Well, do you know what I think more presenters or sort of avid sports bettors, but if you look at sort of like the sports betting industry behind the scenes, because obviously like Costa Rica, or where we are in San Jose, there's a lot of bookies here, sports books, and I know quite a few of them, and also the people that work there, and quite a few people that work there are actually all women, and two of my best friends work in, with bookies. My husband as well, he's in the sports betting industry, so it's sort of like a quite tight community. But as far as like a vocal sports bettor, I think it's myself, I know Becky Legiro, it's like the two of us really that, but yeah, I don't know why. I often think that, to be honest.
I know even like Donnie, I know there's a couple that I know of like in the States, but like I know in my own anyone that I know, I can't say I know any woman that sports bets. I think it's awesome. I wish there were more, to be honest. Natalie, now I'm gonna say the big news because I think we have to talk about this. It's awesome. Natalie's expecting, which is awesome.
Congratulations.
I have to ask that. Are you going to teach your children to bet? Because I know I will.
Well, I think it's like I've got a few years before. I was just trying to think as well, because funnily enough, I had my mum round just earlier, and so she popped by, and I said I'm coming on the show, and they're gonna ask me questions and things like that. And I was like, obviously I said they're from the States and we're from England, and we've got different sort of betting perspectives and things, and and then we were sort of asking because you guys have the lottery, right? Like lottery tickets. Yeah. That's all like. Yeah. How old do you have to be with a lottery ticket?
18.
Is it 18? Yeah, I couldn't remember because part of like your I'm sure it was 16, but like part of your like rite of passage into that age is like, friends and family members often buy you a lottery ticket, or you walk into the shop. It's like when you're old enough to drink, you customarily go in there and buy your first beer to sort of like exclaim that you're that age. And that's kind of the same as well with betting. Like it's kind of like I can do it now, and it's like the family members and friends come in and cheer you on, and you placed your first bet. Like it's kind of just like a rite of passage.
That's that's awesome. Because look, my family's always been very supportive. We play cards, and betting was pretty normal. But I know, there are a lot of people I know that kind of have to like hide it from their family in a way around here, and it's kind of interesting. But I think England, I'm always very intrigued by England. I've always been intrigued. I don't know about you, but I've always been intrigued by that country. Just kind of a lot of interesting things, and the football passion is kind of one thing that I look at, and I'm really excited. Do you root for a team, Nat? Do you have a team that you root for?
I do, unfortunately. I'm wondering if I can divorce them, or I don't know. I want to take a break from them. Manchester United.
I was thinking, I had a feeling maybe because I know you've mentioned them when we do shows that you don't like. Yeah. I just figured they haven't been winning money for you, so you kind of were off them, but I didn't know you were a United fan. All right.
I'm just expecting more. And obviously I got into the Twitter conversation with you as well. Anne's like Manchester United, sure. And many of the fans were sort of happy for that away goal. I just think that, Manchester United are a pedigree above Anderlecht. They should have won that. And it's just disappointing, really. It's just, I don't know. I just feel disappointed. I want them back to their winning ways. And I know you've got to take the rough, with the smooth. I know this. And so listen, I'm sticking it out in the long run, but I want them to be the team I know they can be.
I think they're going to be just fine. I don't think there's anyone in the Europa League that is up there where they are, so I think they'll be fine. You do have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, which we can agree he's one of the better players in the world. Natalie, I got to ask you about a little bit of EPL. Aren't you like the best as far as EPL in the bankroll right now?
I am, yay! Yeah, I am actually, which is pretty fun because we're against Flash, who is a professional, or was a professional footballer, and then Nigel Seeley, he's been a betting pundit for goodness knows how many years. He sort of actually does he's more of a presenter, but so he does like podcasts and shows and things like that. He lives and breathes football. So yeah, quite happy about that, to be honest with you. But it goes up and down. So I'm sure next week someone else might be in the lead.
Sure. Before we let you go, because I know you have better things to do on a Friday night than sit and talk with us.
I don't actually. I say this is the highlight of my Friday night.
Well, we can be so lucky that your highlight is hanging with us because we have no lives and this is all we do is do content. I got to ask you, I mean, give me some predictions for tomorrow for anyone that maybe didn't see all the video, or give me a cracker bet. Give me a cracker of a bet.
Well, I've got a couple actually, to be honest with you.
Write these down, people. Get your pencil and paper out.
I would say that my absolute banker, and we did so this will be previewed on Friday. When was Friday? Friday's today, right? Friday is today. God,
today.
It is. I forget the days after time too. Don't worry about it.
Friday today. Well, Friday. So this morning, I had an early start this morning. So this morning we did our Premier League rundown. So we go through all 10 matches, and with Flash, Nigel, and myself. And Everton versus Burnley is actually my banker. We call it a nap. As well. So Everton -1 on the Asian handicap, which is 1.75. They're on fire at the moment, and they're a scoring power. They're playing a team who they're the only winless team on the road all season long. Bearing in mind we're coming to the last chapter now, so pretty bad that they haven't even won one match. They've only scored 9, yet conceded a total of 30. So you add that to Everton's scoring power. Burnley unable to score but concede. Everton -1. So if they win by 1 goal, then you get your money back. If they win by 2 goals, your money comes in. You can even take that -1.5 if you want a bit more value, and that comes in around 2. Nigel's going for a win to 0. He doesn't think that Burnley can score. So that is one of them that I really like. Another one, I'm really impressed with Tottenham right now.
Yep.
And Tottenham, they host Bournemouth. That's on Saturday. 1.25, so very low odds there for their win. But again, taking them Tottenham -1.5, so that's to win by 2 goals or more. Tottenham have been scoring an average of 2 to 4 goals in every match. Nigel thinks that Bournemouth can score on this one. I'm not sure, but even if Bournemouth can score, I definitely think that Tottenham are winning by 2 clear goals. So that's another bet. And then the other one, which is quite interesting because another one, Southampton versus Man City, low. You can stick that in an accumulator on a parlay bet. Both teams to score 1.65. You can also add the over 2.5 goals in that match. It's split actually between Man City and Southampton of who will win. If you're going to go for value, it's Saints at home, but I don't know. Man City might pull that one off, but both teams to score. And then the other one is Manchester United versus Chelsea. It's the big match of the weekend. And it's the unders. And interestingly, actually, I think maybe Flash went against this one, but Nigel was like, this is he's like, best bet of the entire week. He's like, love this bet. And it's the one I'm going for as well. And it's the under 2.5 goals. 2 very strong defenses here between these two teams. If you look at their last 5 meetings, they're no stranger to each other. And 4 of the last 5 matches have seen the under 2.5 goals. So not a lot of goals, but it will be a good match. And that's 1.73 with Paddy Power. So those are the bets I really like.
I'm glad you brought this up and we talked about this, because I think, Donnie, this is just a good point for me to just go over what I have quickly here. I agree with her 100%. I think Tottenham is a great bet this week. I laid the 1.5 goals personally. I got it at -135 at 5 dimes. I actually laid it with Manchester City as well for the outright win. Look, I just think they're a better side than Southampton. I mean, Southampton's been good, but Man City, I just think is a better side. It's not a breakdown. I just think they're a better team. I got a couple more in some other leagues. I took Juventus, which I took them in the Champions League. I'm going to lay the 1.5 here. Pescara is the worst team in this Serie A. They probably really don't even belong in Serie A. They're probably a B relegated type of team. They're just bad. I don't think they're going to score against Juventus. To me, this is a 2-0, 3-0 win. Win to 0 might be a good bet if you can get that bet. Also, I like Empoli, Fiorentina under 3 goals. Empoli's been a total mess. They can't score. To me, that's a 2-0 game.
Yeah, well, listen, to say 2-0 because I've got 2 bets on that one. Fiorentina to win to 0, 2.3, and Fiorentina -1.5. So you're saying that 2-0 bet. Those are those 2 bets that I'm going for. So on the same page as you there, big man.
Awesome. That would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm also going to lay the 2 goals in League One with Monaco. Dijon is a awful team. Monaco's in great form. We know they could score a ton of goals. Relentless. They're at home. They're going to sleep in their own beds. They don't have to travel again after this game. I think they're in a really good spot. I think their spirits will be up. Dijon's a bad team. And with Paris, Donnie Saint-Germain, which we had today, winning, they're now tied with Monaco. So Monaco still has a league to win here. This has been a great race, Natalie. I'm sure you can agree. Last year, I mean, PSG had a 31-point lead. So,
Yeah.
it's nice to see League One getting a little bit of a couple teams that can play well. Nice actually playing pretty well also. But I'm going to lay the 2 goals. To me, that's a 3-4-0 type of game. I considered the under 3.5, but I get a weird feeling that's a 4-0 game. If it's 2-0, I get my money back. I'm getting plus 111 on that, so a little bit of plus money back. And my final game, which I mentioned to you, Natalie, on your chat box, I'm laying the 1.5 goals with Real Madrid, which at this late hour is a little concerning because I'm hearing some interesting news about Cristiano Ronaldo, which is got me kind of concerned. I wonder if he'll play in this game. I don't know why he won't. They're really kind of battling with Barcelona, but Sporting Gijon is a bad team. I mentioned earlier, Natalie, this is kind of the elite versus the cupcake week. A lot of good teams playing bad teams, so it should be one of those where you see a lot of high-scoring 3-0 type of games.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, got to ask you though, Hoffenheim versus Mönchengladbach. Obviously, you took them when they were playing Bayern Munich. They then went, they lost last a week, but that was playing at Hamburg. But now they're at home again, playing Mönchengladbach, again, who've got a very poor home away record. You get that for evens, which I thought was pretty micey. I've actually taken that one. What are your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Hamburg game because I actually took them against Hamburg and lost. So I really should have known better. I know in the States, Donnie, we've talked about a team off a big win. You never want to bet them the next week. And I kind of fell into that trap and bet them the next week. I don't necessarily have a huge feel on it, to be honest, that. I think for me, I'll take the 4 units or whatever I want on Hoffenheim and just put that into the safe and walk away. Hoffenheim again, they're not a great side. I don't think they're going to win.
They are
anything.
at home though, undefeated.
Sure.
Do you know what we did wrong last week? Was we played them on the road, and they're a different side on the road. At home, I'm taking them. I'm not burnt yet. If they let me down, I'm done with Hoffenheim, but I'm still good. I'm still riding the train.
I don't think you're wrong with it, though. I mean, they're the better side, I think. It's just, for me, I kind of welcome the money I made off them. It's kind of random and lucky, but for me, I guess I'll just kind of take my money and run with them. One last one, and this is just going to be kind of one that I'll bet really small, but I'm going to just take a shot with it. AC Milan at plus 257 on the money line against Inter Milan. Teams are exactly the same. They're rivals. Why can't AC Milan go in and win? They've been scoring goals. They're obviously going to be very up for this game. It starts at 6:30 a.m. Eastern, so obviously we can make our money. I can wake up at 10 o'clock and hopefully have $257 in my account because I'll probably just bet $100 on it. That's what I'm like.
It's a tough one, isn't it? And I think this was a game that we previewed, and Alex was going for one of his classics. I think it was both teams to score in the over 2.5 goals. I think, don't quote me that, check our best European bets video for that. I don't like big Derby della Medellina. I don't like betting big derbies like that. They're harder to predict. I think they're better ones to watch. But Alex went in. I stay away. Just quickly though, one other one that I wanted to quickly talk about was Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Obviously, they're still in the running. It still is possible, right? They've got the home advantage now, and Atletico Madrid have got 1 goal. Obviously, they're at Crystal Palace, not betting on their win or Crystal Palace's win. Do you think they could do it? Would you bet the upset, or do you think Atletico Madrid are going to park that bus there and it's a typical unders game?
Well, look, I mean, they're at home, which is clearly helpful. But now I got to be honest, I don't think they belong in this competition at this level. Just my opinion. I mean, I know what they did last year was awesome and great, but I think that was really the climax for them. I don't think they can win. I think Atletico is an elite defensive team. Other than maybe Juventus, they may have, and Juventus and maybe one other team, they might be the best defense in the world. Can they qualify? No way. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think they can. I know tomorrow, though, I wouldn't be interested in backing them either just because, I mean, they have a big game on the horizon, and going to Crystal Palace is never easy. They have really good fans there. I don't think they can win. Like I said, I think our preview, they can't score. I mean, they have the
Yeah.
least amount of goals left, and that's not a good recipe against a team like Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, well, who's got one of the best defenses in the world?
Amen.
What about you, Donnie? Do you have a football team, or
You might as well ask him about golf.
Yeah, exactly. I have the football team that I root for is the one that Jeff gives me in the morning to root for.
Yeah. Does he give you tips though, and then we call them tips.
I gave him I gave him 4-0 today. I went.
It was pretty interesting today.
Yeah,
so I do give him credit there. He knows what he's talking about. I'm just getting into it, and they said watching your show as well. It's a lot of interesting stuff. And again, I struggled just with saying some of the teams' names. Forget about actually capping the game.
I think I'm that. Yeah. I think I'm 6-0-2 this week. I haven't lost this week in soccer. So yeah, I mean, I gave him a couple from England Championship today, and I gave him PSG, which I share all my soccer plays with the world. I don't keep them secret. So if you've tailed me, you've made money. And if you've tailed any of us, anyone that goes on the banker, I mean, everyone is just completely, fantastic. So yeah, I give him all my plays, and he cashes in on them. So
nice. That's what friends are for. We do that as well. Actually, we've got between our like team bankroll, we've got a Skype chat, which we're talking like every day and stuff like that. It's like, what are you going for? And then they'll be like, I've got an awesome play. You have to do this one. It's like, It's good fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
It totally is. Yeah. And I've said to you, the last thing I'll say, I think my greatest joy is sitting here, getting my card together for football, putting the games in. I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed soccer, and hopefully winning some money, and we've done well with it. So yeah, I enjoy it. I appreciate you including me, Natalie, in some of the shows. I know for me, I enjoy the World Cup qualifiers and the Champions League, but I try to get involved with everything. I want to thank you, Nat, for coming on. It was really enjoyable, really fun.
Yeah, my pleasure.
This show is for us is just kind of letting our hair down. I know we don't really have hair to let down.
Really have too much, yeah.
I'll let it down for you.
Yeah, we have some fun and just kind of bullshit with each other and hang out. So Nat, I appreciate it. Catch Natalie every day on SBR Forum. She's to me the best presenter on SBR. I love Peter, so Peter, don't get mad, but I really enjoy it. Natalie, I'll see you soon for sure. I am gonna at some point make my way down there. So I'll see you next week probably with the Champions League, and thanks for coming.
So we'll Monday for weekend recap. Yeah, we'll see you then. Donnie, really nice to meet you. And
you got it. Have a good weekend. Good luck tomorrow at your plays. Absolutely.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. That was awesome, Don. Yeah. Great fun. Natalie always brings it. I mean, can you get
no BS? No BS. Yeah. Like you can't say, you just put a girl on there and she's going to walk her way through it. You heard the monologue right there. Ain't no BS in that.
I mean, can you get anyone more into something than her with football? I mean, she loves it. I mean, she knows everything. And, I've often talked about it in my personal life. I think England's one of the more interesting cultures as far as I want to be a part of that, I know I'm not from there, but I think it's so awesome. Like just the way the passion and, it's really cool. I don't know if you know this, Donnie. I have a cousin of mine. He's lived in London for years. And I've been meaning to go over there. I got to get over there at some point, but great stuff from that. Quickly, Donnie, before we go, we'll do the Baffle the Big Man.
Yes.
But one thing back with Aaron Hernandez, again, I mean, so you get off, but you're still serving a life sentence. So it's the ultimate letdown.
What's the point? I don't even know what he's even fighting for. Maybe he could have just said, I'll admit guilt to those if you give me if I can eat a cheeseburger every Friday or something.
It's extremely redundant, clearly. It's like, why do you give someone 500 years? They're never going to live 500 years. But
you can serve it consecutively.
Here's the people you feel bad for. You feel bad for the people that were killed. And their families, because
and as crazy as this, you feel bad for his kid that he leaves behind, and same thing with the mom. Like, what kind of lifestyle is that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and they don't have, now they don't have justice for their fallen brother, sister, son, whatever. And I mean, Aaron Hernandez is appealing. If he'll ever get out, clearly probably not. But now he has to live the land that he played. So I think one of the more as far as polarizing figure. I mean, you look at him. I mean, he was a guy that had literally the world in front of him.
Yep.
Everything in front of him. Yep. He had a lot of money. He was really good at what he did. He played for probably the greatest organization in sports. Good looking, healthy, a ton of anything, and threw it all away to do what exactly?
So the quote was the quote is he does everything your favorite fake rapper didn't do.
Good point.
No.
And you know, that's the interesting thing about the street life, because unless you're, you know, you ever meet a guy in the street life that got out of it and still has all their money and they can feel safe? Do you ever meet anyone like that? I haven't. It's not many of them. So you got to make your money and look over your shoulder. It's definitely a shame. Too bad.
Crazy.
Let's move on, Donnie, to finish up the night. A little baffle the big man. I guess we have some questions tonight.
Yes, we do. I actually missed one. One of these was actually for Natalie. It said, who won this year's Cheltenham Gold Cup?
Oh, she might have known that.
You know who it is?
We'll have to save that. I don't know that. I've never heard of that.
You know what?
So we'll have to save that, Donnie, and get it to her next time. Yeah.
Number two.
How crazy would the Patriots be though with those two? Like still, like.
No, they were about to revolutionize the game with the two athletic tight end set, and you know, would have been crazy. By the way, big man, Detroit 7-2 over Cleveland. Cleveland has those bases loaded again.
There's the over.
Yeah, might be able to say. By the way, my over went down. Bases loaded for the Angels in the top of the ninth. Couldn't get any home, and even in the bottom of the eighth, first and third for the Royals. They only got one run out of that. So one of those tough beats that you're going to have later in the season. But hey, neither here nor there. We'll get it back.
How about shout out to the SWAC on the chat box there? Where did Walter Payton go to college? Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson State. Where did Jerry Rice go to college?
Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get back to it. Hashtag LNOC. Number 2 question. Ojos del Salado is the highest volcano on Earth. It's also still active. What 2 countries does it lie in?
What was it? You cut out.
OJOS. Ojos del Salado.
That means eyes in Spanish. Ojos.
And it's still active. What countries does it? I guess it straddles a border.
Chile.
I don't know. I don't even know where it's at.
It's on the border, right on the border.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, Argentina and Chile.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. This football club was founded in 1878. We know it by its current name, Manchester United, since 1902. What was the original name?
Manchester Newton Heath.
Okay. CC at CC Fitness. Who said it? To win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the acme of skill. Okay.
Art of War.
And here we go. Here's a good one back up my alley. What song on Nas's Illmatic album is also the phrase that inspired Tony Montana in the movie
The World
Scarface?
Is Yours.
There you go.
One of the greatest tracks ever, actually. I've actually came into the my podcast with that several times. I love this. Illmatic was one of my favorite albums ever. Stillmatic is as well.
Stillmatic. There you go. That's
I've always Nas has always been a guy that I've always really enjoyed.
Great one.
As far as that's
absolute great one. Junior chimes in. Hey Donnie, I have one question for LNOC, and then was wondering something. Number 1, players in colleges. You know this is what I like. Jared Jack, where did he go?
Georgia Tech.
Yep. Tim Duncan. He didn't even give the answer to that one because you should know it.
Wake Forest.
Yeah. Patty Mills.
St. Mary's College.
Yep. All you need is an Australian. You know where that's out of. Royal Ivy.
Former Sixer, Texas.
Yep. Tony Snell. I wouldn't have known this one, actually.
New Mexico.
Yeah. Greg Monroe.
Greg Monroe. Georgetown.
Yep, Georgetown. And Duane Wagner, the Prince of Camden, New Jersey.
Memphis.
There you go. Also, can you ask Big Man?
One of the most underrated high school players ever.
I don't even know if he was underrated. He was that good. What a shame he had something wrong with his intestines, cut his NBA career short, but the kid was just nothing but flat out amazingness, man.
Him and you remember that group? It was like him and like Darius Miles and Ricky Davis, and it was like what a kid.
Quentin Richardson.
Yeah, number 2. I remember he was always number 2. What is he up to now? I wonder. Let me see here. I'm going to Google him here quick. Hold on.
Wait to see who's up to.
Duane Wagner.
Oh, what was he up to? I forget.
He lives in West Deptford.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. He last played in 2015. He returned and signed with the Amera League, which was whatever that is. The league folded after it was discovered the founder was a con artist.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Last one here for you. Can you ask Big Man to rate his top 5 favorite soccer players? I guess active, or all time?
Yeah, I guess active. I'll say who my personal best is, who I think are the best. Ronaldo, CR7, Messi, Neymar.
Neymar Jr.
Who, by the way, suspended tomorrow, for anyone doesn't know. Griezmann from Atletico Madrid. He plays for France national. And I'll go Lewandowski from Poland. He plays for Bayern Munich. He's, just a great goal scorer. There's so many good young players, though. It's best goalkeeper, though, is Buffon from Italy, for sure.
Old man, how old? Give me the age on Buffon.
I have no idea. I think he's 40.
Ageless, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in there forever, man, hasn't he? Yeah, let me look here. He's 39 years old.
Gigi Buffon. Yeah, tomorrow we got the right side of campus, which is basically the Saturday sit-down reincarnated. That should be a lot of fun. 12:30 tomorrow. We're going to have a full slate to go over. Baseball, NBA, hockey. We're going to hit it all for you tomorrow. And soccer, of course.
Yeah, listen in. We will have all that and more. If you missed any of the plays that I gave out for soccer, it's on my timeline. All you got to do is check that out. As far as for me tonight, I got to jump off here because I got to go get a haircut.
I love how you get a haircut at damn near midnight. I think that's fantastic.
11:30. Yep. I have had the same barber for 10 years, so.
No, all good. Anything else you want to leave them with before we shut it down?
Getting stalked daily. This shit is fake. It's actually not. We're real. See,
I think I'm a real person, aren't I?
Yeah, we move our hands.
Getting stalked daily. Does anybody out there complain about being stalked or stalked through Twitter? I don't know.
Wonder who that is.
Anyway, big man. Yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow. Leave with something here and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, thank you to Natalie Rodstrom. Awesome. Absolutely. Really fun interview. Both guests today were great. The Joe Duffy and Natalie Rodstrom.
A-game, man. Bringing their A-game. It's a lot of fun.
They did. And we're going to bring in some more guests for sure. I'm going to get Marlins Man on. I'm going to do that. But thanks, everyone, for participating tonight. It was always fun. Tony O, Buffon's wife, is amazing. Is she really?
She better be. Where's the dude from Italy? He's probably getting whatever he wants, right?
I never seen her, but I know I'm imagining she would be very, very beautiful. Excellent work. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. All right, Donnie, we're going to go. We'll be back tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern, where we go through the Saturday card. So join us then. Everyone have a great and safe night. I am the big man on campus. He's Donnie Rightside. We'll see you tomorrow on the